This week on Hermitcraft, the opposite of this. Welcome to the Hermitcraft RECAP. My name is Pixelriffs, our writer is LoyXP, and it sure didn't take long for bees to become undead, the wings to become not cool, and the spider boats to invade. Yes, we know spiders have 8 legs, but what the heck else do we call this? It's week 3, and by this point everyone has made the game so easy for themselves that they're finding ways to make it harder again, like a hide-and-seek game with an easily recognisable object that teleports when you hit it, which, as far as we know, has already changed hands between Grian, Scar, Etho, Cub, False, and possibly Gemini Tay, unless the episode she posted on Saturday was a bluff. Again, for new people, these recaps only cover videos up to and including Friday. There's also a very public secret society that encourages you not to fly around on the elytra you just bought, and killing the Wither using dripstone, which works on the 3rd try. And if that's not enough for you, let's start with Mumbo, whose main task this week is building a blaze farm while being true to his pledge of not killing anything. The fact that blazes only drop rods when killed by a player turns out to not be a problem, because wolves will do the job and will only die some of the time. Unfortunately for Mumbo, he ends up dying more than the wolves do.
But that is fine. I am absolutely okay with that because against all odds, we have actually managed to create a functional blaze farm.
Pearlescent Moon leaps to his rescue, and somehow, at the end of it all, there's a farm.
It's really not far away. This is the problem. I think we're loading it.
So
oh, we're going the wrong way. Don't worry.
Where do I kill
Don't worry
this?
about
We
this.
don't need to go this way.
He also manages to build a passive kill Enderman farm using dripstone after discovering a chest full of free Ender Pearls, but that doesn't stop him from building one anyway. And once Grian appears on the server, they finally bury the hatchet they've been using to chop down all those trees, and the peace treaty is signed, in squiggly handwriting and everything.
I gotta, it looks like Griam.
I was going to say Griam.
Griam.
that
I
eye
play
is
Minecraft
busting
well.
some
I
moves.
don't write so good.
This doesn't stop the tree beast from casually eating members of the server, although Impulse SV luckily has enough Ender Pearls that he doesn't have to perform emergency dentistry on Treeser. Boatham Town has other dangers, although most of them seem to be voluntary. Together, the community discovers that even a big hat won't save you from falling dripstone.
Oh, man.
And they band together to attempt killing the Wither using a stalactite.
Go.
It's called professional Minecrafting, people. We've been playing this game for 10 years.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
wait,
He's
now
released. He's out.
Oh, he's out again.
What have
you done? Why do we suck so much?
Or about 10 stalactites. It turns out most of the previous YouTube videos were a little hazy on the details, but by the 3rd attempt they have the method down to a science. With that taken care of, Impulse heads underground to create a glow lichen farm and upgrade his bee harvesting methods, and emerges to find Boatham Town has a few new landmarks, to which he adds his own glow lichen shop, earning himself 10 comedy points in the process.
Absolutely hilarious.
Attempts to farm various ingots, gold and iron among them, are met with moderate success, a lot of XP levels, and a few golems wandering around on the surface. Horseplay ensues, the results of which we will cover later when Tango pops up.
Why are you killing golems? What's happening?
Mistakes were made. I accidentally made a free roam golem farm.
Did you try and make a golem farm all by yourself?
Ooh, I did. but I
Impulse,
was on-
how many times have I told you?
Iskal85 approaches fighting a Wither the more conventional way, which is to get Etho to do it. At least he did his lion's share of the RNG when they raided a nether fortress together, but he's too busy setting up the No Wings Club, a league of down-to-earth transport enthusiasts who pledge to not use elytra for as long as possible.
Anyone can join and membership is free. The registration is open as long as there are bragging medals to be had.
Thanks to some data pack magic, there are medals to award to anyone who lasts up to 1,000 days without using elytra. Your first challenge being to actually access the clubhouse, which hangs from the underside of a shattered savanna overhang.
Look at this.
Iskal's also pretty keen to sign up for TEGG, but the problem is he lives with Etho, who could just wander in and claim the egg from their shared living space. So Iskal constructs a purpose-built tower and adjoining housing complex specifically for egg thievery, adds a sign with Mumbo's face on it to throw people off the scent, and promises to fill it with traps when he's actually able to do an interior. Etho may be one step ahead though, because he already snatched the egg from Good Times with Scar and conceals it deep within the redstone workings of Cooper, his copper-faced Tamagotchi.
Wow, okay, that's a good hiding spot, Scar. Yoink.
Remember, we're only revealing that here because the egg has changed hands a few times since then. These eggs are at least 2 days past their steal-by date. With that mischief managed, Etho gets back into more organic farming. Having set up a moss farm to produce a ton of moss and bone meal for all his other farms, he sets up a river biome drowned farm which produces its first trident while he's still building it. He still turns it into a giant green mailbox, with the hope of it mailing him some more drowned when his server mates aren't loading chunks elsewhere.
Oh yeah, there goes a guy. We're getting the odd one here and there, but yeah, it's not great right now. There's just too many people online. I took too long to build this, and now it's like the late night crew is gone to bed and morning crew is logging on.
As far as extracurricular activities go, False Symmetry signs up for everything from TEGG to the Drip Leaf parkour, though the No Wings Club would be better after she and her horse fall into a ravine, admittedly.
We fell in water? Dinnerbone, how lucky are we? Yeah, I'm gonna have to make the staircase, aren't I?
As for TEGG, she's quick to snatch it from Cubfan, who had it well hidden in his burrow disguised as a lamp and guarded by a vicious but politely worded sign. 1.18 be damned, False makes her own lush cave under the skeleton spawner they found, which just so happens to be right next to a double cave spider spawner too. The 3 farms combined into a single facility, if not the AFK area. False decks out the cave interiors meant for them and adds an enchantment setup as a cherry on top.
So yeah, it's now working. Look at this. I can just come over here, do this. As long as you don't stand right up against it, you don't get poisoned.
Jevin digs deeper and bigger, making a creeper farm under his AFK cave. Or AF Cave, if you will. Now filled with gunpowder and determination not to leave any project unfinished, that's one slime that leaps pretty high. All thanks to a lengthy end raid he escorted Zombie Cleo and Joe Hills through.
And go ahead, tell them what they do.
Yeah,
And I have never end busted before.
All right.
ever.
This is gonna be comedy.
I've been in.
Oh my god.
Also, pro strats, he brought a mending and unbreaking book with him to his first Elytra ship. Classy.
This. Yay, I can fly.
Back on the surface, Stress Monster starts building a tower framework and excavates the ground all around it, all without the help of TNT or a beacon, which means it takes longer than she expected, but the deep slate and wood structure gets a canopy of stone and natural grass, and Stress promises to reveal its purpose in the near future.
You may be wondering though, I did say that I was going to do something with the ravine, and this thing behind me ain't really near the ravine, is it?
Perhaps it's just a giant fish tank for the axolotl she acquires on her way to sign up for the No Wings Club. Either way, for now she's happy enough just having found and claimed her own flower forest island, and acquired as many alliums as she could find. Azumavoid has taken up gardening of a particular kind. Having made a greenhouse over the rest of the tiny peninsula, he's filling it with aesthetically concealed automated micro-farms no one would suspect are there. Although the decorating of the greenery takes quite a leap when he decides to add the fabled Drip Leaf into the mix, and then has to deal with Gemini Tay's Drip Leaf parkour cave.
If there's one thing I have no qualms with, it is giving up on parkour. Okay, this needlessly infuriates me, and I have become infuriated.
The Zen gardening is disrupted when an ominous tower rises over the horizon, beckoning X to venture in. It turns out the deep slate pillar is Evil Xizuma's work, who escaped the permaban and offers assistance to X in distribution of the many goods the man will be farming. In reality, Evil Xisuma''s plan is to take over the server's commerce and exploit its economy to no one's benefit but his own.
Barren gravel fields are perfect for me to establish my evil empire of exploitation. Oh yes.
Which on one hand is fun to see that the greatest evil here is capitalism, and on another, good luck trying to do that on a server without a centralized shopping district. At the very least, it's going to take a bit to catch up to Cubfan135, who already took off running in the exploitation department.
Because shops aren't profitable, but you know what is profitable? Casinos.
Just selling the slime for a straight price was not enough for the CEO of Concorp, and the solution he went for is distributing slime from a slime casino, which is finally going to answer the question of whether Keralis likes gambling more than he hates the Nether.
Saw Evil Xisuma on the server a few days back. Good guy, that Evil Xisuma. Loves chaos, death, and destruction, which we are also a big fan of, so...
His next venture is his previous venture, the Dripstone Farm, now equipped with slime block flying machines and crying obsidian, then unequipped with crying obsidian and equipped with jack-o'-lanterns instead. It works so well, Cub expands it into a bamboo farm too. Yep, that's definitely more than 12. And now he pranked all the hermits who've been farming at the times he wasn't. He will never AFK at it in peace for fear of retribution.
And everything has been lichenified.
Pun. I'm gonna assume this was Impulse.
His one good deed for the week was donating the first ever powdered snowblock on the server to Science, or more accurately, to ZF. We don't know yet exactly what Zed wants to do with the bucket slushy, but feel free to extrapolate from the following data. What he did with sheep this week is to stick them onto a wall to be used as sciencey indicators of whatever's going on with the lab. He then proceeded to attach grass blocks ever so slightly below their feet so the specimens don't die of fall damage, and attached a shearing mechanism to the whole thing, making his control panel and experiment monitor into a fully functional wool farm. You know, lab stuff. Lamb stuff, even.
Purple and shut your face. You go magenta, shut your face. Pink, face.
The Botum crew quickly found a different use for a lead and an animal when the horses versus elytra debate between Tango and Impulse came to a stunning revelation. Both.
I've always said, I said in my streams, like, you should be able to access the horse's inventory, and there should be a slot there, and you put in your elytra, and it turns it into a Pegasus.
The aerial sheep service fans will remember that you can lead an animal behind yourself while flying with elytra, and Minecraft veterans will be quick to point out that a horse is in fact an animal, and that the game does not differentiate between a saddled and a regular horse. So yeah, they did drag half the whitelist in one horsepede, and we recommend you watch it because it's serotonin in video form.
We're gonna run out of slow falling soon, by the way.
This will do wonders for the Big-Eyed group and their horse refueling stations spread around the server. B-Dubs and Corrales had 5 or so installed, and Tango made sure to rig up the XP shower and the splash potion car wash. Plus there are rockets and enchanted books available inside. But a much more efficient horse slaughter awaits at Hypnotized and XP Crafted, who come together to build an auto-flushing hostile mob farm and relive some of their Skyblock memories.
And I've got farms. You've got farms. Why don't we have farms?
Their industrial district begins in a plains biome which apparently came with built-in horse heads, and thus Horsehead Farms was born. With the innards of the machine complete, XB sets up a storage area and gets stuck into the aesthetics. It's an approach he also takes with the newly renamed Glow Ink, which incorporates glow berries and glow lichen for sale too, and its sister store Moss Ink, carved right into the Nether Hub by his portal for a new dimension of sales.
Dunzo. And then, like we've been doing with the cyan and the glow, welcome to Moss Ink.
As for Hypno, he takes it to the vegetation and manages to complete the drip leaf parkour and claim his prize. But that goes much further as he makes mushroom blocks, the primary building block in his architecture.
I wanted to build this completely out of mushrooms, so I needed a lot of the mushroom stems for the walls, and trying to get these stems is a real pain when you're growing these mushrooms.
More ethical horse usage can be found with B00, whose paths have now connected most of the server, but ironically, B-Dubs is the one to bring Ethos some wings, which is when he gets introduced to the concept of the No Wings Club, and also to Ethos' prize horses.
Yeah, this is for science, it's not for I'm better than you, right?
Right, of course.
After a quick race, they set up a corral where they plan to breed and sell horses, and B-Dubs starts laying out a racetrack where the fastest might not always be the firstest.
'Cause they won't get out.
There may be obstacles, shortcuts for horses with better jump height, and if all else fails, you can just cross your fingers and hope for a blue shell. B-Dubs turns his attention to other pack animals too, setting up Rent-A-Pack, a llama paddock where you can hire an entire caravan of fluffy portable chests to carry your goods across the server. Meanwhile, Wells Knight assembles a slime block powered sugarcane farm for the first time in his entire career. It goes surprisingly well for a contraption that combines flying machines, hopper minecarts, water and rails, which actually don't get flushed off in Minecraft 1.17 because really, why would they? With the paper supply steadily increasing, Wells approaches Impulse SV and his eyesore shop since a lot of paper is what makes half a lot of fireworks. But with No Wings Club on the rise, the most profitable hustle in the game might become way less profitable, and so the two decide to start a No Wings Club. So, Wings Club. Extra crispy.
And if they need wings, then they need rockets. And if they need rockets, then they spend their diamonds to buy their rockets from either you or me.
Yep, that's what we need to do.
Good Times with Scars starts a new business as well. A new land boat joins his tycoon caravan. This one producing and distributing honey and honeycombs. Well, not until later. For now, the machine mostly pumps out bees in disturbing quantities.
Wow, they look like they've gotten so fat on honey they can't fly anymore.
Zombie Cleo goes for an even more extravagant way of beekeeping. Her swarm feasts on the flowers at her base, which now has been fittingly made into a graveyard. Naturally, the bees rise from the graves in the morning, warranting the pun, zombies. Though what Scar will use for the waxing, Cleo establishes as a crafting ingredient for a new line of product, the Hydrate water bottles, coming in 16 different flavors. 100% alcohol too, judging by how easily they're set on fire.
Energy drink from Zombie Inc. In partnership with Cleo's Bodybuilding, we have decided to launch a refreshing energy drink in multiple flavors.
But the most lucrative game of Scar's is the hunt for TEGG, which of course is short for the egg. In preparation for the big game, Grian goes hoggling wild decorating the insides of his starter home. Secret passages, red herrings, you name it. It's all too funny then that Scar clocks it in a couple of minutes and Grian has to hastily reposition the egg while he's not looking.
I thought I saw it up here. Grian, it was right here.
What? Did you see that? Did you see this?
It was
the black
right...
concrete.
It was right there.
Scar still finds it later, even in the new hiding spot, even if it lands him on Dripstone that one time. Dripstone just attacks Scar from every direction this week. But a drop even worse awaits Grian himself. He discovers Tango's bedrock service and only with a few firework rockets to spare.
I did it! Oh, I'm good at flying. I am so good at flying.
Doc M is much happier making his home at Bedrock because at least he can leave whenever he wants. Having started a slime farm in the Cursed Chunk, he decorates it with some deep slate heavy metal album art and prepares 5 of the 8 spawners for farming, since those other 5 he can activate from standing in one spot. Elsewhere, he discovers the Botum Town crew has sunk the Goatum pole into the ground, but that may not matter because he's been training some of his more local goats to be supercharged. When 1.17.1 comes to Hermitcraft and you can splash goats with speed potions, expect these goats to ram people into the stratosphere.
I'm on a mission to create amazing goats. Yeah.
Rendog has his own solution to the Goatum Pole sinkhole, mechanical arthropod piracy. After a peaceful trade with Gemini Tay, Ren deploys a refurbished shipwreck with 4 huge robotic limbs to tower over the floating goat boats and hopefully winch them to safety once Doc M can figure out the redstone. The automaton quadruped hoists the Jolly Roger, complete with a goat skull design, which honestly looked a bit like the letter M at first, so we were expecting 3 more to show up and spell out Doc M's username.
I gotta tell you, dudes, I have really enjoyed this build this week. It's one of the weirdest things I've ever made in Minecraft, but I don't know, there's just something about it that's so cool.
And finally there's Vintage Beef, who liked episode 1 so much he thought he'd do it twice. Really, after his first 100 days were complete, Beef just wants to get some more of the early game out of the way. Early game stuff like collecting netherite, farming some wither skulls, and building a giant disc out of quartz to start his base ship.
Should I create like a bridge? You know what I mean? Not like a bridge, a walking bridge, like a captain's bridge, like where you operate the machine.
Having joined the No Wings Club, he's still able to save Keralis' belongings from an untimely demise, but unfortunately Keralis himself might be beyond saving.
Oh, he was impaled by drowned! Oh no! Come on, little guy!
And that's about it for this week's recap. Our writer is LoyXP, and my name is Pixel Riffs. This week on Empire's SMP, I stole all my servermates' librarians and replaced them with witches. Apparently I was feeling a little extra that day. That's in the end screen theatre for you if you'd like to check it out. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here, and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.